thing.
It's a whole
We should just
situation.
jump in. So
Okay.
we are now 20 minutes in. So let's go ahead and jump in. Hi, I am Shay M. Lawson Esquire.
And I am Dominique Siobhan Doyle.
And we are hosting today Make Up Your Business. And so Dominique and I, or Siobhan, whatever you want to
You can
remember.
say Dominique. You can say Dominique.
We both kind of left our full-time jobs at the exact same time. And like literally like maybe like 7 days apart.
True. And I didn't even realize that. And I'm not sure if it's under the same circumstances.
No, not at all. But the long and short of it, it was time for us to go.
Right.
And I think that we both had like these thoughts of like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I hope it works for a few months. I'm gonna see where this goes.
It was definitely for a few months. It was like, okay, I'm gonna work this out for 3 months. 3 months turned into 6 months. Well, okay, let me finish up the year. And it's kind of like now a year and a half later. So, yeah.
So we thought that same thing here. And so I had previously, before I left and took the job, had previously kind of worked on my own, but not to the level of which I am now. And I also wasn't making the kind of money I am now. And I spent a year and a half in the 9-to-5 where I really felt like I kind of lost my brand. I wasn't on social media as much. Some of my clients have fallen away. Business wasn't as steady. And so we have both been able to make it from freelance to full time in a year's time.
Well, I would say that I am freelancing, but I'm doing it like for myself or Siobhan. I am an employee of Siobhan. I'm the best employee of Siobhan, the only. But I'm working for myself, and I'm absolutely enjoying it to the fullest. There's definitely some challenges that come along with it, but that's with any career. But I'm definitely enjoying it. So I want you guys to get on that bandwagon as well.
Yeah, so we thought we would join forces. And so as you know, or as you don't know, if you are following Dominique and not me, I am a licensed attorney. I focus on copyrights, contracts, and trademarks. My clients are mostly entertainment professionals and social influencers. So I focus a lot on allowing my clients to protect themselves, grow their brands, grow their audiences, of course, grow their influence, and just make sure that they're overall protected. And I think that's a huge thing with freelancers and entrepreneurs. People often think that freelance means free.
And it's not. There's a coin attached to it. A side note, I just noticed, I think this means the people that are actually watching on YouTube, so we know how many people are watching by if they
hit
tally
the thing.
Ain't nobody tallied in. All right, we'll just continue. Okay, so I think Shay did an awesome job of
there's 2 people in the chat tangle. If you haven't refreshed your screen yet, refresh your screen where you are so that the chat box comes up, because we really want this to be an interactive conversation. Like if you've never talked to somebody, or if you had a lot of questions, just like I said, Kelly, we got your question. Isis, we got your question. Tanika, if you're still there, please feel free to type in the chat box, but we want to know what your questions are about going from freelance to full time.
And we're also on a delay. Okay, so if we don't answer right away, it's because we're on a delay. All right, so I guess this was the introduction time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I am Dominique Doyle. I go by Siobhan on social media and in the, I guess, makeup world. I am a freelance makeup artist here in Atlanta, but I also do travel to. Well, now I can say I travel internationally as a makeup artist. Took some time to get there. But currently, yeah, so I love doing makeup. I've been doing makeup for about 9 years now, 9 to 10 years, but doing it full time for myself for a year and a half. And I did not ever work at a makeup counter. I didn't go to school for makeup. I kind of just did this on my own. And it wasn't just something I just, woke up the next day and thought I was a makeup artist, but it was something that I just worked on over the years. And now I just have.
Who was like your first client?
My first client was one of my college friends in
the dorm.
In the dorm, and she wanted birthday makeup. And the funny thing is, I did her makeup yesterday. Like
repeat client.
Exactly. Like she was my first client. Or some kind of I actually did a photo shoot with a guy who's now doing camera work for Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Oh, so talk about that. So
yes, so I am currently working on Married to Medicine, which is Bravo network television. I did Love and Hip Hop, which is on VH1, and also
R&B
R&B
Divas.
Divas, which is on TV1. So I've worked with some like major television networks, and I want to share with you guys just how you can actually make those connections. There's not just one way. You don't have to have a license. You don't have to go to school for. I mean, it's great if you do, but you don't have to, because I didn't have to, and I was able to still make that and those connections. Actually, we're filming right now for Married to Medicine. So yeah, and I do every occasion. Anything you want, baby, I got you. Anything, got you. So that's me.
Tanika says she loves the African backdrop.
Thank you. I got it from Liberia. Isn't it lovely? I'm going to make a skirt out of it after this.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you guys, just to go over an agenda. First, we are going to talk a bit about building your brand. What does that mean? So if you are freelance and you're just an individual right now, what does it mean to build your brand and get your name out there? I know the number one thing is, how can I get consistent clients? How can I get myself out there as somebody to call for a show or, anything like that? So we're going to talk about building your brand and what that means. Next, we're going to talk about building your business. If you are currently freelancing and you're working on different people, Dominique just mentioned that she did makeup for her college roommate. You may have some things that you're doing. You may use other people's makeups, but as you move from freelance to professional, you want to make sure that you have the absolute right tools and makeup so that you look like a professional, you're ready like a professional, and can get professional looks. So we will go into that. We'll then go into that money. It's my favorite part.
Of course it is.
And so we will talk about how to charge and all the, Dominique will talk about all the different ways that she makes her revenues.
Mm-hmm.
I will talk about how you can protect your money and make sure that you get paid. We'll talk a little bit about just some pro tips of the trade that will help you do your job as a makeup artist that a lot of people
get you called back.
Yes.
Because sometimes it's not even about the skill. It's so much more than just that will get you actually back in that person's house, wherever it is that you're doing the makeup, get you back.
And last but not least, we will talk about growing your business. So you set it up, you're working as a professional, all these pro tips. How do you grow your business and expand your reach so that you can say you are an international makeup artist as well?
Right. Took some time.
All right. Well, let's get started.
Was that a ding for the a question? No,
I'm
too excited.
Yes,
that was a message.
You're aggressive. You guys,
is the chat not working?
Somebody tell us in the chat, Tango, should we do on every message? There's only 2 people in the chat. There's 2 anonymouses in the chat right now. So if Chat Tango is not working for you, feel free to tweet us using the hashtag MYB.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started.
All right, we are at visual storytelling and finding your look and style. What did you do?
Some time to realize that what aesthetic I wanted to portray as a makeup artist. And I figured out over the years that I love a natural look. Like, I like to enhance beauty. I don't like to cover it up. I'm not a heavy-handed makeup artist. I like it to look breathable, and I like it to look bronzy. And of course, it took me some time to figure that out, but that's what I'm known for, and that's what people come to me for. So I had to learn how to now kind of perfect that. So rarely would you see color. When you look at my before and after pictures on IG or Instagram, you wouldn't see a lot of color. You see a lot of natural tones. It's all about skin. It's about highlighting. It's about it not contouring too heavy. So my style had to be natural, because I'm natural. I like the whole natural look. You see, I got the locks thing going on. I like looking natural. That's what it is. And I rarely wear lashes, but I have for this occasion, and a little bit of color just for y'all to see. But everything is very minimal. And I like to enhance, because a lot of the clients that I do have outside of television, they like to look like themselves. So they don't like the heavy makeup that the makeup artists do. They don't like the very structured eyebrows or the big heavy lashes or even the colored eyes. So I think it's very important that you kind of figure out what your aesthetic is, what you're really good at, and work at those things. And I'm not saying that I have done drag makeup. I have ventured into, of course, doing TV makeup is different. You do have to go heavier, but you can still go heavier and still look natural. But you have to figure out what you're good at, what you want to do, and just kind of work on that and massage it to make it your own. So that was my style. And that's what I actually came to that realization last year.
Yeah.
That this is what I need to stick to, because this is what I'm good at. People know me for this. People like me for this. And
I think that that's the key right there, is don't feel like you need to do everything. There needs to be a reason that people call you.
Right.
And when somebody comes to you for something that is not your forte, in Atlanta, we call them crucial brows. If you want crucial brows,
yes,
Dominique is not the person for crucial brows. So people have a specific look. That there are certain makeup artists that you follow, and they have a particular look, and it. Even if you didn't see it on their page, you would know it. And that's what you want to do as a makeup artist. You want that if somebody saw somebody's face out on the street, they would be like, oh, I know Dominique did your makeup.
And that actually has happened to me before. Somebody went to a party and it was just like, oh yes, I was such and such. You did her makeup, right? And I was like, yeah. It's like, how do you know? Her eyes and her brows, they were natural. They weren't overdone. And I was like, yeah, I did it. So you want to set that standard. You really do.
You want to be consistent. So I think you want to be consistent because you want a reason that people specifically come to you for business. So as you start your business, really decide that. Just like she said, she didn't really know in the beginning, but you want to decide. As an attorney, there are all kinds of law that I could have done. I could have done divorces. I could have done criminal law. I could have done DUIs, car accidents, but I specifically do contracts, trademarks, copyrights. So when people are interested in protecting their brands and their businesses, they think of me. And I have people come to me all the time and they say, hey, can you do my divorce? Hey, I'm trying to buy a house. And I'm like, that's not my thing. That's not what I do. And I can refer you to somebody else. But people know that I specialize in this and I do a good job in it. And it's the same thing for you as a makeup artist. You really want to narrow down
what you do. And that even goes to say, like, for instance, I went and I took a lash extension course. And I do lash extensions, but I don't promote it, right? Because I don't think that's my thing. Right. So I have like a few clients that I do because I operate in their homes. But that's not what people know me for. Same thing with like the eyebrow extensions and stuff like that. Like I can refer you to people like that because that's not my style. And there are other people who actually do that, that's what they're known for. So I'd rather recommend you to them. And I'm perfectly comfortable with that.
Kelly, we can see you. We can see your question. Kelly Roxanne, she is Emerald 23 K Lee on
Hey,
Twitter.
Emerald, I know you. Hey, girl. What's up, Kelly?
She said, what is the best way to build clientele or some good ideas? I am so ready to take steps to move forward.
What is the best step to build clientele? Let me tell you what I had to do to build clientele. Unfortunately, when I first started, I had to do a lot of what they call PFTs.
What's that?
PFT is photos for trade. Meaning you have to link up with a photographer and you guys have to get together, get some models, do their makeup and work together. And basically you're not getting paid, you're getting photos instead. So you're trading your services for photos and you're uploading those on your social media, on your website, and you're creating this portfolio. So I did a lot of TFPs. Trade for photos. I said photos for trade. Yeah. It's called TFP. I'm sorry, I was thinking too hard. So I linked up with websites like oh my gosh,
Model Mayhem.
Model Mayhem. Oh, everybody knows Model Mayhem. I don't know what it is like right now, but it was a lot of TFP work on that. But my biggest thing is linking up with photographers, because once you do good work with them and they get clients, they're going to call you. So I have a few relationships with key photographers here in Atlanta. So they know whenever somebody books a photo shoot with them, they can recommend a makeup artist. And usually, they have about 3 or 4 makeup artists on their roster because people are not available at certain times. And I have have that connection. That definitely helped build clientele, because after they see me do their makeup and they love it, they see it looks good in their pictures. Now they're, hey, Dominique, are you available for this event? Are you available for my wedding? I've got a lot of clientele from just working with photographers and stylists, hairstylists and clothing stylists. So you want to link up with those creative people so that they can now recommend you to their clients as well.
So I think we're going to talk about networking a little bit later, but
Yes.
keep that in mind. So sometimes you need to do non-traditional networking. Don't necessarily network and hand out people and be like, oh, girl, I could do your makeup. I see your brows look jacked up. Let me help you. Like, you know, I was at this event the other day, and I mean, my nails were fresh. I've cut my nails off now, but I actually have a client who does nails. And so my nails were fresh.
They were.
And she came up to me and handed me a card talking about I'm a nail tech. And I almost, like, I took offense to it, where I was like, are you trying to tell me?
No, I think she just saw you
my
like
nail,
your nails
girl. So I hit her when I was like, so you trying to say I need a fill-in? So you don't necessarily want to run up on somebody and hand them a card and be like, hey, I do makeup. You might want to be non-traditional in the sense of you are actually going to photography meetups. You are going to modeling events. So you are reaching out, and that's not necessarily
wedding events.
Yeah, like not necessarily the people who are going to hire you, but the people who can refer you, like these stylists who can think about you, these photographers that, ooh, who can I call real quick?
Exactly.
You want to network with them.
You definitely want to network with them, because I'm telling you, I would have not gone to these major networks if it wasn't for a hairstylist or a stylist that I was working with at the time. Because I network with them is how I was able to get on those kind of shows. So definitely keep that in mind when it comes to building your clientele. And then sometimes you're going to have to do work for you. I think I did a lot of building in the beginning, doing makeup for, I hate to say it, but I was doing it for free. And when I say free, it wasn't like, oh, homegirl, my friend was coming to get her makeup done for free. It was like a photographer asked me to work with them on this shoot. And it was like, well, you know what? The same thing, it was a TFP. So I did a lot of TFPs to get the ball rolling.
And I would definitely say, so that's the first thing, to build your clientele, to answer your question, Kelly. And thank you so much for tweeting us. Everybody else who is watching, tweet us at MYB. Hashtag MYB, unless you're using the chat Tango. So thank you, whoever chatted us in the chat Tango. So the first thing is definitely defining your look and style. That will help you identify your brand. Dom talked about merging your personal style and your brand. She is very natural, so she knows that she can go for a natural look. Next, we are going to talk about building an online home. If you are looking to be a makeup professional, the first thing they want to see your work. They're going to Google you.
And I don't understand, and I don't want anybody to take offense to this, but people don't have that online portfolio, and that kind of bothers me a little bit, because how else are people going to know what your work is like? And this is the thing, I think, where people make mistakes too, as far as like upcoming makeup artists. You cannot have an Instagram of just you doing your own makeup, because you can probably do your own makeup very well, but that doesn't mean that you can do other people's makeup. So you want to have a variety of different clients on your social media, on your website. It doesn't need to be just you. Yes, it can be you on your about page, but I mean, you need to have a section of where, like, before and afters. You need to have something with beauty. You know, you can get into those different categories of makeup, but you need to have an online presence. And yes, people are going to websites, because your website's coming up when they Google makeup artists in Atlanta. It has So Siobhan, whoever else is on there, and they can go to your website and check everything out. I know some people live on IG. I love IG, but you want to make sure that your pictures are reflective of different clients, and that's even, you know, different ethnicities, ages, because you want to show that you are talented across the board, right? And that you just don't, I can only do Black women that are 23 to 35. Well, that's actually quite a range, but anyway. You want to show a variety of different skin tones, face shapes, everything like that.
Different looks too, because I know that I was trying to refer a friend of mine who was looking for like just regular like headshots, and she could only find
the
like
big glamour look.
Yeah, and she was like, okay, then I'm not going to use this. Right. And there was nothing that I could say to convince her, you know, to go with this person's portfolio. So you definitely want to have the wide array out there. There's something that she mentioned is having professional pictures.
Professional pictures.
Really.
Not cell phone pictures. That's fine for your IG. You know, but still you need to have some professional pictures in your IG as well. But most definitely on your website, unless it's a before and after, they all need to be professional photos. So that's why you need to do a TFP or pay a photographer to set up a photo shoot, because that is going to show how professional serious you are.
All right. So that takes us to number 2, but we want to go ahead and review our first section, which was just building your presence online and getting yourself out there. So first, you want to find your style and look. You want to identify your brand, merge who you are as a person with your brand. People will feel if you're not authentic, if you're disingenuous, and people like, sometimes it's more about working with you than it is, you know, a particular style, because everybody can do highlighter. A lot of people can do brows, but sometimes people want to work with you. They're comfortable with you. So make sure you merge your personal style with your brand. Have an online portfolio.
Yes.
Beyond your IG. IG is great.
Beyond it.
But have a website. Build an online home. Use professional pictures, and you have the pictures that you use go across a wide array so that they can show your value.
And show your range. And also, to add to that, I was going to say, be consistent with your online presence as far as like your name. So if I'm So Siobhan in one place, I need to be So Siobhan everywhere, and not So Siobhan in one place and then Dominique in one place and then blase. I need to be So Siobhan everywhere so it doesn't confuse, you know, my audience.
All right. So next is budgeting your business. And Kelly had a question before we move from number 1. Can you recommend someone that is affordable to help make your logo, cards, and website cohesive? Which is important, that you keep the same color scheme and fonts and everything.
It is. And I used to have someone to recommend, but they're no longer doing websites, logos, or anything like that. You do have someone.
I was going to say I use Jillian Adriana.
Please,
I will
share her information.
I will tweet her information out, and she from top to bottom, she did my style guide.
And your style guide's awesome.
Yeah, she chose my fonts, my color scheme.
I do have one person who did mine. I'm sure he's still doing it as well. So I can also, if you want to put that information, I can.
Yeah, who is it?
It is Christopher Barker. So let me find his, I can give you his IG. And he did my logo. He does this for a living for large brands. I'm like an old lady when it comes to like social media and stuff.
I see. Do we see this? So thank you guys who are, I've seen a few people come in and out. So if you are coming in and out of the live and you catch this on the replay, thank you for your patience with us. And we are in between sections 1 and 2.
If you go to this is the website, www.84inc.com. Chris Barker, 84inc.com.
Okay.
Yes, he did my website and my logo.
And so the first thing was talking about putting yourself out there. The second thing is budgeting your business. So we talked a bit about, now that you're out there and you may now be picking up clients, you want to show up and be professional and be able to deliver what it was. You don't want to catfish somebody. That's the worst thing you could do as a makeup artist.
Is catfish them and show false representation online and show up and this is the mess. So you don't want to do that. Building your kit with the right tools. Oh my gosh, it took me a minute to do that. But let me tell you, in the process of building my kit, I was very resourceful. So in my kit, I don't have a very large kit, because the thing is, you don't want to overwhelm yourself with too many products, because when you have too many products, it takes too much time. And especially when in TV, they give you a set amount of time to do makeup. When you're doing a wedding, you have a set amount of time. So you don't want to be rumbling and fumbling through everything. You want to have like exactly what you're going to use. Have it there, have it available, because you don't want to waste the time. So I feel like having all these products and everything can definitely be overwhelming, and it lacks efficiency to me. So we do have a checklist that we are providing actually, but the main thing that you want to have a really nice makeup bag. So let me tell you this. So I can usually, when I go to these, like when I see other makeup artists, I can almost tell their seniority or their level of makeup by their makeup case. Because when I first started, I had the metal makeup case, the small metal makeup case with the handle. And then I went to the bigger metal makeup case that I can now, you can drag. And now all professional makeup artists, all the way to the Marios who's doing Kardashians, all the way, they have the Zuka makeup bag. Right? And when you pull up with that, you better not be catfishing nobody, because that's when people are going to be like, oh, that's interesting. So the Zuka makeup bag definitely is a way to tell whether someone is serious about this. Also, I think, and I didn't do this in the very beginning. So for those of you who are starting, this is definitely a leap, which is good. You want to have a light. You don't want to depend on your clients for their lighting, because usually they don't have good lighting, especially if they're from out of town and they're at a hotel. Hotels have horrible lighting. So it's very dim lighting. So you want to make sure that you're bringing your own light. And I would recommend a ring light. And then we also have all the information available in the list as well that we are offering to you guys. As far as building your makeup kit, you want to make sure that you have a foundation palette. Now, some people might go to the MAC and they want to buy all these different foundations, but you don't need to have all those foundations. I mean, you can, but they cost a lot of money, even if you have the discount, right? So I think the best thing to do is get a makeup palette that has a different color foundations, from the lightest of light to the darkest of dark. And then you can customize foundation for your client. And that also that looks special for them, because you're not pulling out just one, one tube of makeup, right? You're actually putting this on a platter and you're customizing it for their skin. So that just makes them even feel more special. And that makes them want to pay you even more, because you're like, oh, you're customizing this foundation for me. Yes, honey.
Tanika said too many products can give you back problems.
Listen. Yes, condense. It's not about all these, it's not about all the foundations and lip gloss and all this that you have, the brushes. It's how can you make what you have work for you? So be resourceful.
Okay, wait, backtrack, because you skipped over that. So what about your brushes and stuff like that?
Okay, yeah. So just definitely wasn't okay. Let's go back up here.
Yep.
Light thing. Okay, go.
Yep.
So you also want to make sure that you prep and sanitize. You want to have your alcohol available. You want to have your daily brush cleaner available. You want to make sure that your clients are seeing these things to know that you're sanitizing, the brushes that you use after you use them, so that they don't think that you're using it after.
Exactly. Lawyer talk. The last thing you want is one of your clients to get a sty on their eye or have some reaction and try and sue you.
I've actually knew a makeup artist who their client had a cold sore in their lip, and so they used the lipstick and they didn't sanitize it for the next person, and it was like a wedding situation. So you want to make sure if you do have a client that has that, then you can offer, they can bring their own. Usually some people who know that they have an outbreak of a cold sore, they'll bring their own lipstick or whatever. Or you can use an applicator, disposable applicator. But you want to have those things available, even if you don't use, because I don't always use like an applicator. I just use my brush and I clean it after every person, right? So, but you want to have those things available. So I'm sorry, guys, I'm all over my eyelash. You want to have those things available so they can know that you are sanitizing and cleaning your brushes and stuff like that. Also, as far as tools is concerned, man, I keep it really cute. I keep it simple and sweet. I love me some Technique brushes and I love me some sponges, and you don't need a lot to get started. You can even go to Michael's and you can get some paint brushes.
Craft brushes.
Yes, because those are actually less expensive, and Michael's always has the 40% off. But you can be very creative in the tools that you do use. So yes.
What about this one down to this?
Foundation palettes, I would recommend as far as different brands, Ben Nye, Cinema Secrets, Graftobian. Those are all theater makeup, so they are HD. They're really good for photos, videos, and they give you palettes, and they're also less expensive than going to like your MAC or your even it's like Sephora, you know, for NARS or things like that. These are like really, 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 really good. It's really good makeup, really good stuff. And they use it in theater, so it has to be really good. And it comes up great in photos, and you get a large amount for the price. As far as like, I use a lot of eyeshadow palettes. I don't like the individual eyeshadows. I use eyeshadow palettes. I really do enjoy Smashbox. I enjoy Lorac, because again, these colors are more natural. I don't like the bright, bright, bright colors. So this fits my style. So you want to find eyeshadow palettes that are going to fit your style. Keep it simple. Keep about 3 or 4 of them, because guess what? They all got similar colors in them.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have a matte one, and you want to have one that is definitely more of a sparkly, I guess.
Yeah, a shimmer.
The shimmer. I should know this, right? The shimmer. So you want to have a matte and you want to have a shimmer. CoverGirl Queen Collection. Love their bronzer. When I tell you, it's beautiful. And they don't even sell them so much in stores. You have to kind of order them online. Amazon. Yes, but definitely I use that as eyeshadow, and I use it as a way to contour. And I use it on all tones. You just got to know the amount to use. NYX lip liners and lipsticks are really good because you can get a lot that's in it, and it won't be costing you $20 a lipstick. So, and also there's this brand called Nicka Matte Lip Color. Spell it. Nicka. Okay. Nicka. Great lip color. Matte lip colors, very inexpensive, last long, thick, good. So yeah, this is a rundown. Lashes, you can order your lashes in bulk online, Amazon. You can even go to the Walmart, and they have really good lashes. I got these from them. So I know Dominique covered a lot, and we want to keep our time kind of down. We have about 30 more minutes left, and we want to we want to leave time for your question and answer. I want to say also, you want to make sure that you're asking for a discount wherever you go. Show them that you're a makeup artist. You have to have a card. Show them your makeup business cards. You should have business cards. Give it to them. Let them know you're a makeup artist. So you see that there's steps to this. There's levels to this. So first, we talked about getting your business together and having your website together, having your logo, your branding and stuff together. Yes. So now as you go and you budget for your business, you want to build with the right tools and kits. And so it's not necessarily, just like she said, you can go to Walmart. You can use palettes. You want to budget yourself accordingly. We know that money is tight, especially when you're starting out. Yeah, when you're starting out. So you don't need to go and get Sephora brushes. You can go to Michael's and use that 40% off and build it up. I know we covered a lot. Well, Dominique covered a lot, but don't worry about taking notes. We have all of this for you in a complete list. Is it linked to where you can buy it? Yes. Okay. So everything she mentioned and more as far as building your kit as a professional makeup artist. So going from just freelancing, all the tools you need, the big kit that she talked about, the carrying case, the light, all the different makeup from sanitizing. She has the list. Yep. Links for where you can buy it. And we will tell you guys how you can get it at the end of this. What is this technology that you want people to invest in? Well, this is what I've learned as of recently. You want to make sure that when you're scheduling your appointments, that you invest in some type of scheduling app. Major key. Because I'm telling you, it's going to save headache. It's going to save you from having conversations with some difficult clients, and it's going to just help you to run your business. It's going to make you look more professional. So you can try some things out for free, or you can just take the time. And I know StyleSeat is a really good one that you can do that doesn't cost, and it does have a cost to it if you do certain features. There's Calendly. And then there's so many other scheduling apps that you can use that actually take payment as well, which is really good. So. Tanika says also try crownbrush.com for affordable brush. Crownbrush.com. Yes, ma'am. Have you heard of that? I have. What type of health insurance do you use or at? or access if you are self-employed.
I'll dive into all this. So
Okay.
Next we are going to talk about how to charge, which we're going to dive into the nitty gritty of doing business as a business. And so we will cover your questions. Kelly, she has 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you need a business license? Must it be an LLC? How do you know at what income level you should start reporting taxes? Then what type of health insurance do you use or access if you are self-employed?
All that is very important.
Oh, wait. Before she said makeup chairs, Bass Pro.
Let me tell you about the makeup chairs. I'm not totally against makeup chairs, but I got so much stuff I got to carry already. I got to carry this light. I got to carry my makeup case, and I got to carry the stand that the light goes on, that I do not want to carry a makeup chair. However, if that's totally what you want to do, I say go for it. Get the makeup chair. I personally don't have a portable makeup chair that I carry with me. I make any chair work. My actual for outdoor sessions, the actual case can turn into a chair. So I like my back, and all that lugging and stuff. I don't have a makeup chair, but I wouldn't say you have to start off with one, but you can definitely do if you want to.
Okay.
It's up to you.
So we are going to dive into the business. So let's do a re-review for anybody who's joining again. We covered getting yourself out there. So that is building, not just having an IG. The worst thing you can say is, oh, go look at my IG. No, you need to have a website where you have a portfolio and you can show the breadth of the clients that you serve. You want to use professional photos. We'll talk about networking more in depth in a little bit, but we want to talk about networking with photographers and with models and with different stylists and people like that. Second, we're talking about now that you have put yourself out there and you're looking for more clients, you want to make sure that you have a professional set. Dominique went through absolutely everything that you need, from your tools and your brushes and your cleaners to your actual palettes that you'll need to do the makeup itself. And just like we said, don't worry about it. We have it for a list. We have it in list form for you with clickable links at the end. So we're going to dive into now you're doing business. So I think there's like that defining moment where you realize like, wow, I'm being booked out every week. There's not a week that goes by that I am not doing makeup. And I think that sometimes it's hard to understand when you are doing something as a hobby.
Yes.
When you are doing something that kind of makes you some money ever so often.
Right.
And when you have something that can really be something
real
that can support your lifestyle. And I hope that you guys are here because you want to make makeup your profession, that you want to go from freelance to full time. And so you have to set up a business as business at a certain point in time. When she's working with networks, they're going to want a W-9. When you work with big clients, they're going to want a W-9. You have to fill out vendor forms. When you're working with larger groups, let's just say that you're doing a wedding party. We talked a little bit about sanitizing your brushes and stuff. And I mentioned that somebody could sue you. Somebody could get injured. Somebody could have a terrible, you never know what somebody's allergic to as it relates to makeup products.
That's something you want to have you also want to make sure you have a conversation with the bride and find out if anybody has any allergies to any specific types of makeup as well during the consultation.
Because that is the worst thing you can do, is that you didn't know, they didn't say anything, and now this person is sending you hospital bills, ER bills, they're telling you you've ruined their special day. So you want to make sure that you are adequately protected and you're doing business as business. So the first thing that you do want to do is, at a certain point when you are doing big business, yes, you want to set up as an LLC. And it takes no time. Tanika's in here. She took my Too Legit class where you learn how to set up an LLC. It is incredibly simple. And the thing about it being an LLC versus you doing it freelance, because you're doing it freelance as an individual, that person can sue you individually and take your individual dollars out of your individual account. Whereas if you have an LLC, they are suing the business.
And not you.
And if the business has $40 in your business account, that's all they're going to get.
But I'm just saying.
So you want to make sure that you do that when you are making a certain amount of money, when you're investing. And we're talking about the tools to get you started as a professional. And we'll talk a bit about upcharging and things like that. But when you start investing in these high-end makeup products and tools, you want to make sure, you want to make sure you can be able to deduct that as what? a business expense. So you have to have a business set up to deduct it.
You definitely do. You definitely do. So you want to have an LLC. It's so important. And you don't understand how many things you can actually count as business.
And so it depends. Wait, let's see. Isis says, okay, she's in there. Isis is in here. Hey, Isis.
Hey.
The thing about a business license is it is going to vary state by state.
Yes.
Your requirements for your business license. And so I know you talked a bit about how do you know at what income level you should start reporting taxes. If you are making, the IRS considers everything income.
More than 500?
Yeah. Like if this is more than some chump change, like $40, they want you, they want you to claim it. They like you, even if you are still doing this freelance and you do not have an LLC set up.
Sole proprietorship.
It's a sole proprietorship that comes in underneath you. And on your tax forms, they ask you, did you have any additional income from any other sources?
Right.
This is an additional source. So you need to count it at all levels. Now, the threshold is going to be, do you need a business license? Most states say that if you are doing under $10,000 of business per year. So if you do not make $10,000 as a business, you do not need to file for a business license. But that is not true everywhere. Sure. So you want to definitely go and look online for where you are in the country and see, and you can literally, and I always tell people, stop Googling stuff, but this is one thing that you can Google. Google, what are, let's just say I'm in Georgia, what are Georgia business license requirements? Right. So you want to go ahead and make sure that you are compliant with your state, because the last thing you want is your state government coming after you.
And another thing is, you know, this kind of stuff is very overwhelming to me. So that's why I, hire a professional who knows that kind of stuff. I mean, I think it's important for you to know exactly what you're getting yourself into and what you're doing. And that's why, I have an accountant that helps me put all this stuff together. And of course, you want to be in the forefront and know exactly what's going on. But if you're not too confident and skilled, then that's why you have, that's why they have people who do this for a living.
So let's dive into this dirty part. The biggest thing that you want to do, can you see our questions? Who is this in the chat? Yes. Let's see. Oh, it says, look, it won't let me. Oh, this is a hater. Chat Tango won't let me type. Yes. It said your chat does not make sense. Please.
They want you to be proper, girl.
All right. So anywho, to answer your question, Kelly, yes, you want to go ahead and set up as an LLC so that you can be protected. You always want to protect yourself and your personal assets. The worst thing you want to do is get in a situation where you're finally making money. You're finally making good money, and you have that one jerk client, and they will come. They will come. And have that person be a petty patty and take everything that you worked hard from, and put it down the drain. So the next we are going to talk about setting your prices and making sure people pay you. You don't want to get mad, you want to get paid. And the number one way that you get paid is having a basic client services agreement that clearly outlines what you do, what you do not do, and what you need the client to do to do your job. Exactly. So let's talk first and foremost about how much you should charge, especially if you're starting out. Dominique, how did you decide how much you were going to charge when you first started out?
Right. So I wasn't charging barely anything when I first started out because I didn't know. And I wasn't confident in my skills at that time. So I was just like, I don't know. So I can't give you guys a number of where to start off, because you have to be confident in the number that you're setting up, but you want to look in the area of other makeup artists and see, the range of prices that are going on.
Here's a pro tip. Don't tell anybody I told you unless you watch the webinar. Have a friend. So Dominique is my friend. Let's just say she was starting out. she could send me as the rogue undercover to call another makeup artist or reach out to them and say, hey, I want to get my makeup done for my birthday. How much are you charging?
What's your rate?
Yeah, and I would, so I can set my budget up. Hey, I'm thinking about doing so-and-so for my birthday or a group of people in 3 months. What are your rates? So that now I've gone rogue undercover. I've gotten the prices of somebody in my area who you might feel like is around your same experience.
Yeah, experience and skill as well. So you want to do your research and see the range, and then you want to find somewhere that you're comfortable. I went up in my prices a few times, and especially this last year I went up.
What's the defining thing where you're like, it's time for me to raise my prices?
This is my bread and butter.
But like when? Like, are you like, oh, I'm a year in, or what was it?
A year? For me, it started, there was a different type of clientele that I was trying to reach. And so the prices that I was charging was not getting the clientele that I wanted.
So tell it to the choir again, one more time.
I wanted to reach a different type of clientele. So I knew if I was charging like 60, 65 or whatever, I wasn't getting the clientele that I wanted. I wanted the people who were going to pay more, and they didn't have a problem paying more. So, that's when I decided to change it. And now that I have these network names behind me, I feel like I can charge more. And it took me a while to be confident in charging, more. But at the end of the day, like it's a luxury service, so they don't have to have it. If they're calling me because they like my skill and they can afford me. You know what I'm saying? Because it is a luxury service. This is not something that you have to have. So you just have to be confident in your prices, but you want to make sure that it's comparable. It's like if you're selling a house, right? You don't want to underprice yourself. You don't want to overprice yourself. So you want to make sure it's comparable to the other, services or makeup artists in the area. You just have to be confident and decide that this is what you want to charge, and charge it. And the thing is, like, yeah, you can do discounts. I do specials. I don't do discounts. I do specials. So I do like a prom special, a graduation special, or something like that.
You don't want to Walmart yourself.
You don't want to
be the Walmart of makeup.
No, you don't want to Walmart yourself. So you want to, you can do specials, maybe first client special or something like that, but don't call it a discount. And if you are going to give something away, do their makeup for free. Like I don't mind, like, hey, I'm doing a giveaway, because you don't want to water down your value. You want to make sure that it's either you're getting all of it or none of it, or you're doing a special. So you want to make sure that you use the correct terminology so it doesn't seem like that.
What are they?
No a la carte services. Meaning, and I can't stand when people do this. No, I don't do just eyes. I don't do just brows. I do a full face. So if you want,
somebody asked you to just do their brows,
girl, people will come at you last minute. Oh, I just want a natural look. Can you just do my eyes? Maybe a little blush? No, I do full face, and this is what it is for a full face. So it is what it is. If you're gonna do like lash extensions, maybe that's something that you can charge separately. But don't just have just eyes. I want to, because that's gonna water down your work. So then you're gonna do just their eyes, and then they're gonna go into the party with horrible foundation application. That somebody's gonna look at you and be like, oh, didn't she get her makeup done by such and such? Ooh, her makeup her eyes is cute, but her foundation is horrible. Everything complements each other. And that's what I try to explain to people when they ask for just eyes. I say no, because it's not going to look good. And because you're presenting my brand, I can't have you out there looking like you cute with just eyes, but the foundation, the highlight, the contouring is not there and doesn't look cute. So no a la carte services. Let me tell you, I break up my prices versus this. Like, I have an in-studio price. You come to me. I have a travel price. I come to you. It's more. I have a photo shoot price, because usually you want me to stick around for touch-ups. And of course, I have a bridal price. And that's a whole bridal package where we have to sit down and talk, and I give you a quote. So you want to have different options available for your clients as well.
So there it is. So first, you figured out how much you're going to charge. So even if you're just starting out and you need somebody to go rogue on your behalf and call around and ask people how much they're charging, you want to make sure that you're not overpricing, but you definitely want to make sure you're not selling yourself short.
Yes.
Second, you always, as Dominique said, you want to do a full price. It may take you some time, a full face. It may take you some time to be comfortable with the price that you're charging, but you don't want to compromise your value. Just like we talked about before, when you're establishing your brand, if somebody can look at this person and tell that you did their makeup
Mhm.
and you only did their eyes or you only did their brows and the rest looks like trash, that's going to diminish your brand. So you want to say, I offer this specific product, it's a luxury, and stick to it. So then that brings me to the contract. You want to have a basic services contract or basic terms of service that you offer. So we just talked about this earlier, where maybe you don't want to have somebody sign something every single time they just call you and say, but you want to have some language you can copy and paste into a text message, or language that you can copy and paste into an email, or that's readily and easily available to find on your site, that shows what's your cancellation policy. Are lashes included? Are touch-ups included? I have a full face policy. You must show up, you know, on time.
As folks will try you.
So, you know, you definitely want to do that. So you want to make sure that you have a clear agreement with your clients about what you do, what you do not do, and especially with payment, you know, we talked about calendaring. When is payment due?
Right.
How much is it going to be? You know, the number one thing that I think people say is, well, I thought that it was this much, or could you so-and-so? No, guess what? We actually have this in writing, and this is how much it is.
Yes, and that's why it's important to, when someone calls you and they're like, hey, well, you know, what are your rates? I don't tell people rates over the phone. I say, well, send me an email and then I can send you my rates. Or, you know, send me a text, or I can send it to you. I can send you my rates right now. I can't talk. Or just say, you know, I'm actually in a business meeting right now. I can send you my rates via, you know, text message, and you have it not just type out their rates, but have it actually in a nice little PDF. You can actually create, you know, PDFs that you can have all your rates on, and you can send it really quickly via text message, or you can send it through an email. You want to make sure that you have it written down. Do not tell somebody over the phone, because then they're like, well, I thought you said this, that, and the other. No, you want to make sure it's written down.
Absolutely. You want to also, people will try it with time. People will try it with canceling. People will cancel on you. I have it happen to me as an attorney. She, of course, somebody will be down for it and they might not have the money, you know, or they might be tight on time. You know, people will fool around all day on their birthday, and then they get to 30 minutes before where they're supposed to be, and now they need to cancel on you because their sister gonna do their makeup. Guess what, hun? That's not my fault.
That is like a real situation.
Yes, and I'm keeping. Did that happen?
Yes.
What?
Yes. That's why you do a non-refundable deposit. Because when you do a deposit, people are more likely going to keep their appointment. And if they don't keep it, you have a little something for the inconvenience of them messing up your coins, because not messing up your coins. But it is, because you could.
That is true. You could have had somebody else, and that's why.
And that's
your
why.
time at the point that you are a freelancer, your time is super valuable.
Yes.
Nobody can waste your time, because you, who wrote it? It was Kelly who wrote in her email. So we had you guys that write in and ask, like, what were your biggest fears? And Kelly wrote us and said, my biggest fear is being able to support myself full time.
Right.
So that means that if you don't show up, if you waste my time, I might not be able to pay my light bill. I might not be able to have gas in my car. So my time is money. You cannot waste my time.
And I'm telling you, like, it took me a minute to get to that point. It really did take me to, if I'm being completely honest, it took me a minute, because I was the nice girl that was, okay, well, okay, fine. And, you know, and also transitioning those people that you did the hookup for, right? So it's like, you know, hey girl, I can't make it. And you're like, okay, whatever. Now transitioning those people to now, like, okay, now you got to pay a deposit. You know, and it's none of
you need to sign this agreement.
This is what it is. So that is very important. And you always 100% want to have a contract when you're doing large parties, whether it's a bridal party, it's bachelorette, whatever it is. You want to have a consultation to talk about, you know, the expectations, and you also want to have a contract with that.
You absolutely do. So you want to, and you want to be able to, let's review it again, be clear on what you do, what is included in your services, what you do not do, when payment is due, and how that confirms your actual appointment of saying, hey, this time, I know we talked about this, but your time was not confirmed until you paid this deposit.
And always let them know, like, you have to confirm your appointment with the deposit. And you also want to make sure that you are in the contract, you have agreed about time and location.
You want to be clear on what you need them to do. So I need you to show up with a clean face. I need you to let me know about parking. This is what will happen if you cancel.
Because parking is extra if you got to pay.
You want to be absolutely clear.
Mileage is important too.
Ooh.
Because if it is outside a certain amount of miles outside of this, my home where I'm leaving, then that's extra, because if I'm driving 2 hours, it's not going to be the same price as if it's within the perimeter. Travel, you don't think about those things when you first start out, but you never know. Somebody might want a destination wedding, and you have to have those parameters. Like, if it's within 2 hours, I will get there, but it's after 30 miles. You want to go, I usually say 55 cents a mile because that's the federal rate, after 30 miles, or, a rental, gas, plane ticket, hotel, meal. I mean, that's getting a little extra, but you want to have those things kind of in place in your contracts as well.
You don't want to put yourself out by providing a service. You never want to sell yourself short. So when we're talking about setting your prices not only include or take into consideration what other people in the market are charging. You also want to consider, what is your cost of doing business? You using that scheduling app, you running your website, you getting there, you buying your products. You want to consider your cost of doing business.
Being in traffic.
Yeah, when you set your prices. So these are kind of the determining factors. A, what are the people in your market doing? B, what is your cost of business? And then last but not least, your level of expertise. Just like she mentioned, now, I'm doing makeup for VH1, for Bravo, for TV One. I am, for all intents and purposes, a celebrity makeup artist. I do makeup for celebrities. So therefore, you are getting at a premium. I'm not just a random girl who's freelancing. I do celebrity makeup. So you are going to pay me celebrity prices. It's the same thing for me as an attorney. I have now 7 Grammy nominations under my belt as an attorney, so I'm not just working with, regular clients. I'm working with Grammy nominated, songwriters and producers and doing their contracts and deals. One of my influencers has over 1 million followers on Instagram, and we're doing her partnership deal. So I'm not just doing regular everyday contracts. So you're not going to pay me every day lawyer fees, and you have to understand, and your clients have to understand, that they are getting a value. So you want to be very clear on that in the contracts. And I know we covered the contract. So again, what you do not do, how you will get paid, and what your client has to do to let you do your job well. All needs to be in your basic terms and agreements. So just like we said, if it's a big party, absolutely have them sign some paperwork. But if it's just a regular person, you want to make sure that this same language that would be, so copy and paste the exact same language that's in your contract and put it on your website. Put it in your email when somebody pays your invoice, or when you send somebody the invoice, put it in the invoice where somebody can see plain as day, this is my cancellation policy. This is when you need to show up. You want to be very clear on and have it in writing, and you always want to do business as business. And if you are at the point where you do have those people who you were giving the hookup to, and your people want to see you win. So a good transition to be is saying, hey, I am at the point now where I'm getting a lot of things in order, and I'm starting to run my business as a business. So moving forward, this is what we will do.
Exactly. You're adding structure to your business. And I had to explain that to one of my clients the other day. Like, I'm adding more structure. So, these are, because they completely hit me up with like, girl, you've been doing my makeup since such and such. You can just call me and do that. No.
We cannot. So you always want to handle business as business. And if people don't want to do business with you, then they don't respect you or value you as a person, and you don't need them as a client. You
don't want them as a client.
You don't. You really don't. And so I know we covered a lot for that, just like we covered a lot for your tools and kits. But I have a contract template for you that you can download, that you can edit, that you can use, that I will give you guys the link to at the end of this. So we are coming on. Come on, we got 15 minutes, but we are almost at the end, you guys, and we want to leave time for questions. So these are kind of like, we're almost at your pro tips, but hold on. Kelly has a question. I think Isis has a question. Okay. Isis question. This is for Shay. Do you review contracts? Absolutely. That is what I do. You have my email, Shay@ShayMLawson. So if you have a contract, I have a template. If you guys are working right now freelance and you do not have a template, you do not have all the things, or you're not sure if you have all the things that you should, we have everything for you, from your tools and makeup essentials to your contract essentials. Kelly Roxanne, Emerald 24, Kayleen,
Take her.
says, what should I discuss during the consultation? And if they have allergies, how will I know the proper things to use on their skin?
Well, usually they would know because they had a skin reaction. So they'll tell you the things that usually it's a brand that they don't react well with. That has happened to me. So I didn't even use that brand, but I stayed away from that brand. During the consultation, you want to talk about usually this is a consultation for a wedding. You want to talk about the location of the wedding. You want to talk about the timing of the wedding, how many bridesmaids, how many mothers of the bride or the groom, who's getting their makeup done, what time they're going to be ready, what time they have to be ready for photos, so you can know what time you need to get there to start the makeup. You need to know as far as you need to do their makeup as well to see like what is their look for that day. You need to try it out on them right there so they can know whether or not this is what they want for the day of, and then allow them to make changes, if need be. So let's say throughout the day they're wearing it, they decide, hey, I want to go with a darker lip, make note of that for the day of.
But everybody doesn't get okay, we are going to do a separate.
Yes.
So we want you guys to know that because you signed up with us on the first go around, we are going to do different iterations of this. So we're going to do like group.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to do like doing group, doing group makeup. We're going to doing teen makeup, teen and senior
Bridal's
pictures.
a big one. Bridal's coming up.
So we'll kind of cover all of those things, but I would say just in your general consult, you want to cover what time you need to be there. If the person is on if the person's on a time crunch, allergies, parking, and that's it.
Yeah.
So Kelly, time, allergies,
time, place, or time, location, allergies, parking situation. Those are the key things you want to cover.
All right, we are moving into the pro tips. These are things that now you have your business established. You have
get the callback.
You want to get callbacks. You want to grow your business. So you've set your business up. So let's just review because I see that a few more people have hopped on to the chat late. So the first thing is that you want to establish your presence. You want to make sure that you have a consistent and professional presence online, making sure you have your portfolio. Making sure that you match your personal style with your makeup style. 2, you want to make sure that you have the essential tools. You want to make sure your kit looks professional, right? 3, you want to make sure that you are handling business as business and protecting yourself as such. So that means having an LLC set up and always using a basic services agreement or having your terms of service very clear before individuals make purchases. Yes. So now we've done all of those things. You've built your clients up. The money is rolling. It's coming. But you want more. You want more. Because you want this Married to Medicine money. You want this love and hip hop money. Listen, you want this TV money. You want this film money. You want this money. You want this money, but okay. All right. That's a whole nother. Come on, hit them with these pro tips now. You want to show up on time. And show up on time means that you want to be at least 10 minutes before. You want to be early. 10 minutes before the time that you're actually supposed to be there. Because there's nothing like making a bride or a client wait because you are late. That's not lost. You didn't know where the place was. That is not going to be cute, and that's going to not have you come back because you showed up late. And if you do happen to be running like a minute late, you want to make sure that you communicate with your client ahead of time, like way ahead of time, not when you were supposed to be there. You want to communicate with them ahead of time, say, hey, there's an accident, whatever it is, I might be a minute or 2 late, because you don't want that time. You're supposed to be at 7 o'clock, at 7:01, and you're not there. You want to let them know ahead of time. You want to, like I said, be realistic with your time, making sure that don't tell them you can do a face in 30 minutes and it's now taking you an hour and a half. People do not want to sit there forever. So let them know ahead of time, hey, this is the block of time you just schedule out for me to do your makeup.
because you want to be realistic with your time.
But that also goes back to what she was telling you guys about your palette and your tools, about keeping it simple. You are going to be able to do a more efficient job and a better job and be more organized. You're not
rumbling through all these products that you're trying to figure out where to use, how to use, all that good stuff. And that's also something that you want to put in your contract is how long, you know, to expect for makeup to take. You want to dress appropriately. Oh my gosh. So I also learned this late. When I say dress appropriately, I usually wear black anywhere I go. Usually when you look at the makeup counters, they're wearing black. You know, stay away from wearing anything that's going to be a distraction, because especially when you're doing a wedding, you're kind of like in the background. So photographers, anybody that's actually, you know, I call it the help. I know it's sad, but anybody who was there, you know, providing a service is usually wearing a dark color. So you want to dress appropriately. Don't be too, you want to be unique and creative, yes, in your look, because that's the beautiful thing about being a makeup artist. But at the same time, you also want to be appropriate. Okay.
Kelly says she loves us. We're giving her life.
Yay! Okay, there was other thing that I had on there.
Wear mostly black, dress appropriately, keep an open line. I think that's it.
There was one, communicate with your clients. So you want to make sure that you're capturing your client's information and communicate with them throughout, before they show up, just making sure that they know where they're going, you know, that you're looking forward to seeing them, because at the end of the day, you almost like a therapist for them, because you are seeing them with bare face and you're up in their face and they're talking to you. So you kind of,
they will tell you their
business.
They
will tell you all their business, even if it might be uncomfortable for you. So you want to make sure that you're developing a rapport with them, and that's going to make them want you to come back. And the thing is, when you're working, another tip, and this is how I got called back on photo shoots. I kept handle my business, and I kept to myself. So usually people get excited when they're around like some celebrities in the photo shoot, and they're all up in the face and they're like asking for this, asking for that. But you gotta treat them just like they kind of sort of regular person.
Wait, so let's hop to that, because we're at the network. You know, they want to know, how did you get in? How did you get in with VH1? How did you get in with Bravo? What is the tea? Spill it.
I stepped outside my comfort zone, and I had to make some connections with people that I ordinarily would not talk to on a regular. Well, how I got into VH1 was I did a bridal competition, and I met the hairstylist there who we were competing with. We lost the competition. Our makeup was beautiful. Hair makeup was beautiful. However, it wasn't what they were looking for. But anyway, the hairstylist knew Kalina Harper, who was from Dirty Diddy Money, who was on VH1. And so he recommended me to her. And then I did her makeup. She loved it. We dated, as far as we makeup dated. And she referred me to the agency that was hiring makeup artists for VH1.
So let's backtrack. So you did a bridal competition.
A bridal explosion competition, and I hate competitions. And
you lost.
And I lost, but I wanted in. But the thing is, like, I lost, and I wouldn't have done the bridal competition if somebody didn't suggest for me to do it. And so, because I just don't like doing competitions. But I stepped outside my comfort zone. I networked with other hairstylists, and he remembered me. He linked me to Kalina, and the rest is history. And as far as Married to Medicine, linked up with a great stylist, Christopher Jamar Payne, candidly CJP.
Yep.
And he asked me to do a photo shoot. Again, it was TFP, Trade for Photos. That means it was free. But it was with Dr. Simone 5 years ago, before season 1. And so her hairstylist, he solicited me as a makeup artist, and our friend Brandon Combs as a hairstylist. She loved us. Unfortunately, I was working full time and I wasn't available to do her makeup. And she called me this past season, last year, February, and she was like, "Hey, I need you to do my makeup, because sometimes I just do it whenever I was available." And I was like, "Hey, I got laid off." She's like, "Thank God. I need you."
Look at how God works.
Look at how God. But I met her through working with the stylist for TFP. And so that's how I also met Mila. Was working with the stylist for TFP.
Do y'all know who Mila is? She's the lead singer from 702. Where my girls at? From the front to back, are you feeling that? Hey, Mila,
can you repeat that?
Trying to take my man, I don't need that. Anyway, hey, Mila, we love you.
Mila's awesome. And so we actually developed a friendship. So, and she, asked me to do her makeup for I'm not sorry, VH1,
R&B
TV1,
Divas.
R&B Divas in Atlanta. So making those connections.
Latavia.
She hooked me up with Latavia from Destiny's Child. What? So anyway, I'm sorry, I got so excited.
But she's not like this with them. Like,
I'm not. So that's what you don't want to do.
Yeah,
you want to
be hype at home.
Be hype at home. Because that's what's gonna, the fact that you can play it cool and not be all up in their face like, oh my God, girl, what's up? I do that. Unfortunately, I do that with Mila now because I can.
Okay.
But before, you want to be very professional because they're going to see how you act on set. And they're going to be like, you know what? She held her own. She was good. She was professional. She came here on time. She set up. She didn't bother anybody. She was dressed appropriately. She wasn't cussing. You don't want to be cussing, acting a fool around these people, even though other people are.
They will be, and they might be drunk. No matter what is going on.
Do not accept a drink.
Always handle business as business.
Exactly.
They might invite you to hang out after hours. Handle business as business.
And I think once you start to develop a relationship with that person, then you guys can, if you have a relationship with your hairstylist and y'all can hang out afterwards, fine. But you want to keep business as business. You want
to keep business as business. So I think the number one things that we learned from Dominique's story, especially like breaking in as a freelance makeup artist, is get out of your comfort zone. She went to that competition and that is not her forte. It's not something, but it was something that put her name out there. It put her in a space with other people that could refer her. So when we talked about networking, remember in the beginning, we talked about network with your hairstylist, network with your clothing stylist, don't necessarily network with your models or the people who you want to do their makeup. Network with people who are consistently getting business who will need makeup from you and they can bring you to mind. I think the other thing is that every loss isn't a loss. So she had two different losses there. So she lost the bridal competition, but still won because she got put on with VH1.
Right.
And then she lost her job and got put on full time with Dr. Simone.
What?
So, I think in your freelance journey, and this is just general entrepreneurial, in your freelance journey, there are going to be some hard times, some low valleys, some genuine losses, but know that they are going to lead to some wins, or they could. So just keep working.
Keep going. And I was telling
grinding.
my friend this the other day, I was like, with a mess, you can't have a miracle without a mess. So there has to be something going on in order for you to get that, because it's like and this is just my little metaphorical thing, but a flower blooms, you see the pretty flower and it's so cute and it's blooming and all that stuff, but you don't see the dirt that it has to get through in order to get bloomed. To bloom. I said get bloomed. So you're gonna have to go through that dirt. You're gonna have to spread your roots out. You're gonna have to get uncomfortable in order to just burst through the dirt in order to bloom. And I'm still getting there. Right? We all are. So I think it's very important to understand that you can't have this journey without some roadblocks in it.
All right, you guys, we're about to wrap up soon. So if you have some more questions, throw them on Twitter, #MYB. Thank you, everybody. This has been great. You guys have been awesome. So I am going to come in, of course, on the legal side. So as your business continues to grow, you get clients, you're out there more. Guess what? When you're popping, that's when people are going to start stealing your pictures and saying they did that makeup. Some makeup artist, some freelance makeup artist is gonna come out and her logo gonna look almost like yours. Her website gonna be the same color and the same layout. You want to make sure that you, as your brand grows, that you are protecting your brand. So this is definitely not a day one expense, but down the line as you grow, you really want to consider trademarking your brand. You don't want to be in a position where you have invested your time and your dollars into building your brand and your image and getting all these clients. You've been networking, you bought all the tools, you did everything you need, and then you let somebody slide in and pretend that it was you. You let somebody, screenshot your pictures and get business off of your professional portfolio. People will do it. People will do it. And so you want to make sure that you absolutely protect yourself. You always want to use contracts and handle business as business. Set up your LLC so you can protect yourself financially. Get your contracts so that you don't have to get mad. You can get paid. Get your contracts and get your... Thank you. And have your terms and conditions set forth very clearly of this is my cancellation policy. This is my deposit policy. This is what I need. The number one thing that happens with freelancers is that people try to get additional services for free. or people get you to do your job and then say, "Ooh, I don't like it. I'm not paying for this."
Right.
You don't want a situation like that where you have used your time and your products all over somebody's face. Y'all had a full conversation. You gave them everything they asked for, and then they're like, I don't like this. I want a refund.
No.
No. So you want to have your policies very clear. And then we talked about not devaluing yourself. So making sure that as you get more experience, you raise your prices, that you're
and remember,
aware.
like you can feel comfortable raising your prices by understanding that you're not only providing a service, but you're providing an experience. So that is bringing the lights into the picture. Some people are very, very impressed when I bring my light. They're like, "Oh, I feel like I have an at-home makeup artist, like with this lighting." And if you have a professional camera to take pictures of them, like making that an experience, they're going to pay for that experience.
Definitely. You saw that a lot of things were referrals, that a lot of opportunities that happened that allowed Dominique to move from freelance to full-time were referrals, people thinking of her to do business. So referrals are the karma of good work. People only refer you when they know that you are a professional, that you have to think that me referring you is going to be a reflection on me, that if somebody comes and they don't do a good job, that's going to be a reflection on me.
Right.
So if people are referring you, that means that they can trust, that they can put their stamp on you and say, I can send her anywhere and she's going to do a good job as a makeup artist. So you want to make sure that people refer you. I have on here offer discounts for bringing clients, but a discount in the sense of like, oh yeah, here's a special, not don't Walmart yourself.
Oh yeah, just say it's a special. I'm doing it wrong, because you don't want to have them thinking that this discount is forever. Usually a special is like a week, however you want to set it up, but you want to make sure that you're doing it as a special.
Kelly says, do you have any advice for doing makeup in small spaces?
I had to do makeup one time in a bathroom. What I would say is that case is really going to help because it has a flat top. So you can use the top to help, and you want to make sure that you carry like some type of cloth to put down on the counter. So you're not putting your products just down on any kind of table. So you have to be very creative. That's why I say minimize your makeup kit. Make sure that you're keeping it sweet and simple and that you can work with a little bit of space, because people are going to want to know that you can make anything work. Like I can do makeup by my car if I need to. Like, and let's just go get it. And if you need to have a little tray with you, fine. But limit as much as you can the products that you're using. And if you need to take out one bag of product, use that and put it down, because the Zuka bag comes with miniature bags inside of it as well to help you stay more organized. So you want to just be organized in a sense.
I've literally seen her do makeup in darn near a closet for like 13 people in the middle of a party with like no AC. You already know what I'm talking about. Yes. It was like 2 a.m. Like I've literally seen her work in all kinds of circumstances.
You can make it
and that case was clutch. So going back to the case and going back to all the essentials that you need. If you guys joined us, we have the complete checklist and the links to buy everything that we've mentioned. So the case you talked about, the palettes that you talked about,
the cleaners, everything.
Everything. And just like we talked about with the contract, I have it set up where you can literally copy and paste it into your email. You can reuse it as a template to send for your big groups. You can use the copy and paste language on your website or in the emails, but you want to make sure that you are protected with what you do and you don't do. Kelly says that she loves us. You must do this again.
Yeah,
truly gain some knowledge. Thank you guys for joining.
You enjoyed it. That's awesome.
Sorry for our technical difficulties.
Yeah,
so we're wrapping up at just about an hour. We've been promising you guys that you could have this, and we want to let you know how you can get it. You can go to bit.ly, and I'll tweet and put this in the chat, /buy MYB, and you can get notes. I know we've been talking for a long time. You can get the notes from the webinar that we were looking at, and you can get all of these lists that we talked about and the contract template, all for a special webinar price of $47. That's it. That's it. That is it. For happy hour prices, you can get, what is it?
What?
The webinar notes, the essential toolkit.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. The essential toolkit, the webinars, and the contract. When I tell you, like, the contracts will save you so much time and a headache, and like it's just amazing. Like, you just look so much professional. People would literally book me only because I gave them a contract, and the other people didn't have a contract. And and this is the thing, actually, I'm doing a wedding next weekend, and their makeup artist canceled on them like 2 weeks before they're supposed to get married.
You're kidding me.
And they were just like, well, you know, she had a cheaper price. And so they wanted to go with that, but it wasn't professional. She didn't handle her end of the bargain. There was no contract. And so, like,
they could cancel on her. Do you see that?
Well, she canceled on them.
Oh.
But the thing is,
oh no,
they realized that I looked more professional, but they said at the time they couldn't afford me. But they made a way because they realized that now that's important. So
Kelly says, is it taboo if I don't wear black? I hot flash and I get hot so easily.
No, it's not taboo, Kelly. Like, I honestly, like, I honestly wore this today to go see the doctor to do her makeup. And it was, you know, it was kind of low key that, you know, it was at her house and the crew wasn't there. But whenever I do a green screen or when I'm doing like the reunion show, black is a must. So, or weddings. And I would say use a darker color. If you have a t-shirt, maybe with your logo on it, just try to create your own kind of uniform. I would stay away from like heavy patterns, because the reason why you want to stay away from bright colors or patterns and when you're doing bridal parties, because they're going to be taking behind the scene photos and you don't want to be the one standing out. Right? You want to kind of look behind the scenes, and because you want to that, and that also helps you to look very professional. But when you're going out, maybe you can wear some jeans, wear something simple. Another thing why I don't wear like white or light colors, because you're always going to get makeup on you, and you can see that in a light color versus a dark color. You can, like, you know, wipe it off, or it's not going to be as visible.
Oh, that's true.
So that's why
I hadn't thought of that. Look at that. You know, just get you a fan, girl. Get you a white cloth. Just wipe yourself off. Like Boosie, wipe yourself down.
Wipe it down. Yeah. So that's the reason. That's the whole reason behind the black. You know. So, any more questions?
I think that's it. You guys, we tried to keep this to an hour, and I feel like so good in my heart about the fact that we actually did that.
With our technical difficulties.
With our technical difficulties. The link is actually bit.ly/get-my-bundle. And the link is in the chat tango. It is on the Twitter. bit.ly/get-my-bundle. And you just want to make sure that you really, I mean, there's no point in you doing, I think this is going to be the defining thing for me, between you guys being able to do this freelance, full-time, and really as a hobby.
Definitely.
At a certain point, you're losing money. At a certain point, you're spinning your wheels. You're not building anything out. You want to be able to do business as business.
Oh, she asked about like health insurance before.
Oh, what do you want to tell her?
I would say that I did the Affordable Health Care Act as I was laid off.
But America's great again. So what are you going to do?
As of now, I have that. To be completely honest, once I got laid off, I did not have insurance for about 10 months. So that was playing it risky. But I definitely made sure to get it because, you know, you get penalized for not having health insurance. And plus, you just need it. So I definitely did the Affordable Health Care Act because, you know, as an entrepreneur, it was the most affordable option for me at the moment.
And then I would also say for not just health insurance, but a lot of things that you might need as a freelancer, if you go ahead and you take that leap from your 9-to-5 to full-time, is the Freelancers Union. You can find them online, and you can find them on Twitter at the Freelancers Union. And they have a lot of resources like healthcare, like professional insurance, things of that sort that help freelancers. It is literally as if it was a regular like corporate union or like a laborers union, but it is literally for freelancers. So it's called the Freelancers Union. And I think just having a general conversation about going from freelance to full-time, don't take the leap before it's too early.
Yeah.
I want to be clear. I was working a 6-figure job and had saved almost a year's worth of salary at the time that, you know.
I say you always want to, I for myself, I saved at least 6 months worth. And I always have 6 months work, no matter what, just in case something were to fall through or not happen. I can live my lifestyle for 6 months. That's just, I was told that, you know, from, you know, growing up, you want to have at least 6 months work available, and give you some time to work on some things. And also you want to make sure that you are, still setting up for your retirement, however you want to. You want to make sure that you're still contributing to that as well. And it may take a minute for you to get back on there if you haven't already, but that's something that I'm actively pursuing, of course, now, is to pay into those different entities for my future as well. So don't forget about all that stuff.
You guys, we're still on here. We're not in a rush to go anywhere. So I would say, again, for the bundle, it includes the notes from the webinar, because we've been talking for an hour now. So it includes the notes from the webinar. It has the checklist of all the tools that you need and all the makeup that you need as a professional artist. And it has your services contract template in it as well.
Now, will we be able to add this to it?
The replay will come.
We can send that in the video.
You guys will, because you guys were here, you all will have, the catch is that they will always have the link to this. So they can go back and they can watch the YouTube. This will be on YouTube after we finish, but everybody will not get it at this price. So when we talked about doing, when we talk about doing specials and stuff like that, people can watch the webinar all they want, but they're going to pay full price. they're going to pay full price for the bundle. So right now the bundle is $47. We're going to sell it for $97. In a few months, it's going to be way more than that. I just want to be transparent with you guys. I charge $250 an hour. And you all are getting a contract, a full document from me for $47. So we are going, just like we said, we wanted to do this. We've been talking about doing a joint something together, and we appreciate you guys working through the kinks, which is why this was free, why this conversation was free.
Yes.
We wanted to work through the kinks with you guys. We wanted to have this conversation with you guys. But we're going to do this again, and we're going to talk about weddings. We're going to talk about
be more specific with these different
seniors
topics
and stuff like that. And because you guys signed up for this, you will always have access to whatever iteration of this we do in the future. You'll always have access to it for free. However, the people who sign up later will pay that full price. There's benefits to hopping on the train before it starts moving.
Right.
And we appreciate you guys.
We do. Thank you guys so much for joining. This has been fun. I really was a little nervous, actually.
Were you?
I was nervous because you know what? You never know how much you have to offer. And
Kelly says,
just, you know,
be sure to mention age should not deter you.
No, it definitely should not at all, in the least bit. I think everybody should shoot for their dreams no matter where you are in life. I mean, I'm young. I feel like I'm young, but I'm not like, you know, 21.
Yeah, I'm young.
I'm telling you, I went to college. I went to grad school. I worked for a very large nonprofit healthcare organization. I was doing pretty well. I was doing really good. And it just so happened that I chose to not go the health administrative route and pursue my career in makeup, you know, later on in life. If I can go back, you know, I probably would have tried to do it back after graduating from college or something like that. And that was like 10 years ago. Yeah. But no, I don't think age should deter you. I think you just need to be prepared, and you need to have confidence, and you need to step outside your comfort zone and make it happen for you. Yeah. You can be 50, you can be 60. I mean, why not? At least you can say you tried it, because you can't be successful without trying something. You can't. If you can't say you are successful if you never did it.
And I think the thing is also why we wanted to do this is that I think these were conversations that we wish that we had, like resources that we wish we had, where we could just ask people questions and like no question would be stupid, or like really figuring out. I really feel like people try to hide the ball. Like when you ask people like, how much should I be charging, or how do I get clients? I feel like nobody ever answers you clearly about how they got put on.
No, and I'm telling you, it's just like I got put on from my stylist friend. Like, you know, I researched the makeup artists in my area to see what they charge, and I'm like, okay, boo, well, look, I can do that. You know, and the thing is, you have to be confident, and you're only going to believe the prices that you charge. Like, you're only going to believe. If you don't believe it, then they're not going to believe it.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to do that. So yeah, that's what it is. I honestly Googled, and then when I did my before I met Shay, I legit Googled contracts, and this one lady had her bridal contract available, and it was very, very clear.
Oh, was it?
It was very clear. However, she was some far, far away place, and of course, it was something that I was able to kind of look at and figure out, and I didn't realize how thorough you needed to be. And I was just like, oh my gosh.
You don't know what you don't know. You know, as a lawyer, I'm anti you guys Googling contracts. Like, you guys have me.
Oh, that's what I did when I did that.
Yeah. It's like, but you can go and you can see it, but it was a bridal contract. So it would have screwed you over if you were just doing somebody's birthday makeup.
Right.
Or, you know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
it may have had things that didn't apply. So you always want to make sure that you have something that you personally understand, and you don't know what you don't know. You guys now know us. Right. And if there is a question that you guys have, feel free. You have both of us. Tell them how, if they're not following you on social media.
Follow me at Sochevon, SOCHEVON. You can also check out Sochevon.com.
And I am at Shay M. Lawson, ShaymLawson, all over social media. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, Twitter, all of that, ShaymLawson.com. And you guys go out and get this bundle. There's no reason you at some point are going to waste $50 this week
for you
to literally build your business, to give you all the lists that you need.
The list, the
notes,
contract. I'm going to tell you, the
contract.
contracts that Shay puts together is so thorough. The language on there is so professional. Like, they're going to look at you and be like, oh, she's done this before. So you want that. You want that. That's so, so, so más importante.
That's going to be it for us. Thank you guys for joining.
Yes, thank you for joining.
For sticking through the technical difficulties.
Yes.
And we will have this posted back up on the site for the replay. The bundle will be available for you guys for 24 hours at this price of $47. So go ahead and hop on it now. We'll send you a reminder email tomorrow.
Y'all,
but
do you not understand $250 an hour for a consultation? And she doesn't give you a consultation.
Y'all got this free time with me for an hour. You basically, you got this hour.
You got this consultation.
You better ask all your legal questions now. Look.
Then the essential makeup tools list. Oh my gosh, y'all, with the link right there.
I think that's the worst thing, guessing what you need, and then you go and you buy a bunch of stuff you don't need, or you don't buy the right stuff. And then it just ends up
collecting dust. And you don't know how to use it, you don't use it, and it takes up time because now you're packing all this stuff, and now it takes you an hour and a half versus 45 minutes and all that stuff. So it's just, the essentials, and you can always add to your kit, but you don't want to overwhelm yourself with too much.
So we have you guys set. We appreciate you joining us.
Yes, I think we're just wanting to talk.
Thank you. We like talking to each other, and we like talking to you. Thanks for bearing through this. We'll see you guys soon. We're gonna do this.
Tweet Shay. I'm really tweeting. IG me.
And I would say, you know what, and we mentioned this in the beginning when we were having technical difficulties. We're both professionals at what we do, but we don't know everything. And I hope this webinar showed you that we don't really know how to run technology. Like, we are kind of, you know what I mean?
We are working this out.
So don't be afraid to make mistakes, but know what you do well. Guess what I do well? Contracts, trademarks.
I know how to do some makeup.
So stick with what you do well, and don't, a lot of times people put off starting their business because they're afraid to take the leap, because they feel like they don't know. And we're trying to give you the resources that these are the things that we had questions about, that we hope that you will go ahead and take that leap and make your passion your profit. Don't think everything needs to be perfect for you to take the first step in.
Because you're going to overplan, and you're never going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
People plan so much. They watch all these different things, and they just never actually take the leap to do it. And we're giving you the tools so that you can take that leap.
Somebody wrote in the chat, Tango, is the contract able to be used for bridal and other events as well? Yes. So you'll see that the contract is literally fill in the blank. So you can put in what services you include. So you can say, this is makeup for 10 people. This is, you know, just special event makeup. This is the time. This is the place. These are the services. There's literally another spot for this is what's not included. Remember when we talked about the contracts, we said what is included, what is not included. So if touch-ups are not included, if you are doing bridal makeup, but they didn't pay for the rest of the bridal party, I have spaces for these are the services that are included. I literally have another space for these are the services that are not included. I have spaces for you to put your cancellation policy, your deposits, everything. It's all there. The template is completely customizable for you to be able to both copy and paste it and use the generic language in your invoices, as well as using it for groups. And if you ever have any questions about any product that you buy from me, you can always email me at Shay M. Lawson. All right, you guys. See you.
Ciao, bella.
bit.ly/get my bundle.
Get my bundle. I was
Get
like,
my
y'all better
bundle.
get your bundle. But get my bundle. We talking not the bundles, not the bundles. We talking about the business bundle. Bye, guys.
Uh-oh, technology, snafu.
Wait, what happened?
Snafu.
What happened? Where'd it
Where
go?
is that?
Okay. All right, guys.
Bye for real.
Who was that?
Lord, who calling?